Good morning, grade 5s. So today we've got a special guest, Fred, who joins us for this week's work. So for this week's work, we will look at the following. Lesson number 1 and lesson number 2. We will focus on vocabulary. Lesson number 3, we will look at listening activity. And lesson number 4, instructional writing. You will also do 10 high-frequency words added to lesson 1 and lesson 3. This week's theme is going to be going places. Lesson number 1, vocabulary focus. Must and have to are synonyms. So that is, it means the same thing. So we used must and have to when we talk of something that is very necessary, important, or essential. These three words, necessary, important, essential, are all three synonyms. Should is used when you do have a choice, but it's good for you that you rather do something, or better for you. Draw a line after your previous work. Write down the date and your heading must, have to, and should. Must and have to both mean when we have no choice when doing something. Examples: you must open the door to get out. You have to receive a good education to be admitted to university. Should is used when you have a choice, but it's better or good that you do it. Example: you should travel more often. It is so fun. Activity Task 1. Must, have to, and should. A. Complete the following sentences by writing in obligated or choice in the open spaces. Obligated, as seen on your left, means you have no choice in the matter. So in the open spaces you are going to write in obligated or choice. B. Write down 5 sentences each of must, have to, and should. So in your first column you have the heading must and have to, which is necessary, important, essential, and on your right the heading should, which means choice. So example: you have to use an aeroplane to get to Europe. And should, you should use an aeroplane from Johannesburg to get to Cape Town, but you could also use a car. We use if when an input or an action is being done. After this action is being done, then an output or outcome or reward will follow. Draw a line after your previous work. Write down the date and your heading is if and then. We use if and then to talk about a condition. If someone does something first, then the next thing will happen. Examples: if you open the door, then you will get out. If you brush your teeth every day, then you will have healthy teeth. Activity Task 2. If and then. Redraw the following table and then complete it by writing in what the input and action is as well as the outcome. Number 1, example. If you do well on your report, then your friend can come visit this weekend. The action in this example is do well on report, and the outcome, your friend can come visit this weekend. Lesson number 3. You will be doing a listening activity. Draw a line after your previous work. Write down the date and your heading listening activity. Task 3, listening activity. Use the following 3 flowcharts to listen to the conditionals and fill it in. Now, before I start with this listening activity, we need to look at if you can still remember the words we use when we are dealing with conditions. Listen carefully. Number 1. If I don't visit the dentist regularly, then my teeth will decay. Number 2. If I don't follow the instructions, then my product will be incorrect. Number 3. If I work hard, then I will be allowed into university. Lesson number 4. Instructional writing. Instructions. We write instructions to explain how to do or make something. We want the reader to be able to follow the instructions and to do the task on their own. We can use instructions for recipes, DIY manuals, game instructions, science experiments, packaging instructions, craft instructions, video tutorials, and directions. What does instructions look like? Instructions are always in chronological order. That's a fancy way of saying time order. They should have a title. What is going to be made or achieved by following your instructions? What is the finished product? What you need? A list of materials, ingredients, equipment or tools that you need to complete the task. Pictures. Your instructions should be clear and simple to follow without any pictures, but photos and labeled diagrams will really help your reader to follow the instructions easily. What to do? Explain what to do, one step at a time, in the correct order. You can add numbers to each step to show the order or use bullet points. While you write your instructions one step at a time, it is very important to use bossy verbs at the beginning of each sentence. Take note of the bossy verbs. We call them bossy because they are at the beginning of each sentence telling you what to do. Instructions are written in simple present tense. Draw a line after your previous work. Write down the new date and your heading instructional writing. Activity Task 4. You are planning a trip to Europe. Write instructions for which luggage items you should pack. Complete the template and make use of pictures. Make use of the words must and should. Use at least one conditional statement like if and then. You must consider these important factors when planning which items you need to pack. Number 1, the weather, specifically the temperature, cultural dress code for that specific country, the type of trip you are going on. For example, is this for business or pleasure? And then locations, is it based near a beach, a bush, or a city? And that ends another week's work. I hope that you've enjoyed this week's work and that you've had a good week, and you must have a good weekend. Bye bye for now.